Talk to me a little bit about the security presence here today and how much goes into making sure that everybody's safe.
About 18 months of planning.
Wow.
That's how much goes into it. And as mentioned, about 25,000 military and police here in Washington today. The context today is an interesting one, although, as mentioned, there is no specific or credible threat that's known against the inauguration today. We have had 2 assassination attempts against Donald Trump. We had a terror attack in New Orleans just a couple of weeks ago, and there also was a Tesla truck blown up in Las Vegas. So for all those reasons, in addition to all the regular ones that surround a national special security event, planning has been meticulous. Now, at the last minute, they made this decision to move inside. And I approached a couple of people I know and said, oh my gosh, what does this do to all those 18 months of planning? They say, in fact, they had contingencies in place. It wasn't that hard to make the shift. And the fact that most of the events are happening inside makes it easier for security. There will be fewer people. It's easier to screen them. It's easier to keep the protective perimeter in place.
And Jeannie, you brought up the weather. This is why the events were moved inside. But David, I mean, why January 20th? I mean, it doesn't get as cold here as it does in Canada on a day like today. But we know that this goes back, I believe you're the expert, to the 20th Amendment that was ratified back in 1933. But explain me the logic, because as I understand, inaugurations used to happen in March or April, right?
That's right. But, when you elect a new president in November, that's a long time to wait for that new president to come in. So the sense was, if we shorten the time period where we have a sitting president who's a lame duck, that'll be better for America. And so that's why they moved the date.
And what about the fact that it is inside? Can you add some historical context to how rare that is and what you take away from that?
Absolutely. Well, usually if a president dies and the vice president has to take over, there's not any pomp and circumstance, and it's done inside. William Howard Taft, there was a snowstorm, so he had to do his inside. And John Kennedy, there was a massive snowstorm that came, but they brought in flamethrowers to clear the streets on the night before, so we were able to get the inauguration. And it's a very important moment when you have those crowds and you have the parades to kind of symbolically show the unity of the country.